Have your feet felt different lately? Do they tingle more often? Do your feet feel thick or heavy when you walk? Or maybe you have a small wound that just will not heal. But wait a moment, do not assume it is only normal aches or just a part of getting older. Because what may surprise you most is this. Doctors warned that some changes in the feet can actually be early signs of diabetes that many people do not notice. And many people only realize something is wrong after the condition becomes more serious, when the nerves start to be affected, when blood flow becomes poor, and when even small wounds on the feet become hard to heal, even though the body had actually been giving warning signs much earlier. They are often ignored because they do not feel very painful at first. And in this video, we will talk about 9 warning signs in the feet that should never be ignored, especially for people over 40 years old. So make sure to watch until the end, because there is one important fact about diabetic foot wounds that can become very dangerous if it is not noticed early. And before we continue, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss other important health information.
Have your feet felt different lately? Maybe they tingle more often. Maybe they feel thick or heavy when you walk, or the soles of your feet feel like you are wearing socks even when you're barefoot. Some people also start to notice their feet get tired more easily, cramp more often, or feel hot, especially at night. And sometimes small wounds appear on the feet that do not heal, even though they may look minor and not very painful. Because they seem harmless, many people choose to ignore them. Many people think it is simply due to aging, fatigue, or walking too much. But doctors warned that some changes in the feet can actually be early signs of diabetes that often go unnoticed at first. What is most surprising is that these signs usually appear slowly, without severe pain. As a result, many people do not realize that their body is beginning to have problems, and when the symptoms finally become more noticeable, the condition may already be more serious. It can even affect the nerves, blood circulation, and the healing process of wounds on the feet. That is why this video will discuss 9 warning signs in the feet that should never be ignored. Take a moment and think carefully. Have you ever experienced any of these signs lately? Because the earlier these signs are noticed, the greater the chance of keeping the body healthy and preventing more serious problems later. So make sure to watch until the end, because there is one important fact that many people do not know about the dangers of diabetic foot wounds. And surprisingly, they can become very dangerous if they are noticed too late and not treated properly. One of the most common signs is feet that begin to feel numb. At first, it may feel mild and is often ignored. For example, the soles of the feet may feel thick, as if wearing socks even when barefoot, or the feet may feel less sensitive when touching the floor, while showering, or when walking barefoot. Some people also feel their feet become numb after sitting too long, even when that is not really the cause. Some people even begin to notice their toes can no longer feel small touches very well, or they do not clearly notice when touching hot or cold water. This condition can happen because high blood sugar over a long period can damage the nerves in the feet. And the problem is, once the feet begin losing sensation, a person may not realize there is a small cut, blister, or sharp object injuring the foot. Think for a moment. Have you ever stepped on something but barely felt pain, or found a wound on your foot without knowing when it happened? If yes, do not immediately assume it is normal, because feet that begin losing sensation can be a sign that the nerves are already being affected, and the longer it is ignored, the greater the risk may become. That is why it is important to check your feet regularly, especially for people over 40 years old. Have your feet ever felt like they were being pricked with needles? Or felt hot, like they were burning, especially at night or while lying down? Many people think this is only normal soreness from walking too much, sitting too long, or daily fatigue. But actually, tingling and burning sensations in the feet can also be signs of nerve damage caused by diabetes. Usually, these symptoms appear slowly, at first only once in a while, maybe only for a few minutes, then disappear on their own. But over time, the discomfort may happen more often. Some people even have trouble sleeping because their feet feel uncomfortable almost every night. Nerves affected by high blood sugar can send abnormal signals to the brain. As a result, the feet may feel hot, throbbing, prickly, or tingly without a clear reason. For some people, the symptoms actually feel stronger while resting because the quiet environment makes the discomfort more noticeable. And what often happens is this: many people only massage their feet or apply warming oils without trying to find the real cause, even though if it is related to diabetes, this nerve problem can continue getting worse if ignored. That is why frequent tingling in the feet should not be taken lightly, especially if it comes with numbness, pain, or repeated burning sensations. This is one of the most important warning signs to pay attention to, because it often looks minor at first, but can develop into a much more serious problem if ignored. For example, a small blister on the heel, a light scratch from sandals, or a tiny wound caused by a toenail accidentally scratching the skin. But after many days, the wound still does not improve. Sometimes it even becomes redder, more swollen, or more painful. In some people, the skin around the wound may also turn darker, release fluid, or become deeper without being noticed. This condition should never be considered normal, because high blood sugar levels can affect blood circulation, making it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach the wounded area. As a result, the body becomes slower at repairing damaged tissue. And another problem is this: if the feet have already become numb, a person may not realize the wound is getting worse every day. Think carefully. Have you ever had a small wound on your foot that took a very long time to heal, or a callus that turned into an open sore? If yes, do not delay getting it checked, because the earlier it is treated, the greater the chance of preventing infection and more serious complications. And do not forget, always keep your feet clean, avoid shoes that are too tight, and make it a habit to check the soles of your feet carefully every day.
Do your feet often feel cold, even when the weather is not cold, or when other people feel normal, but your feet feel colder, especially in the soles or toes? Many people think this is only due to fatigue or getting older, but feet that frequently feel cold can also be a sign that blood flow to the feet is becoming poor. In some people with diabetes, high blood sugar over a long time can affect the blood vessels. As a result, blood may not flow properly to the feet, and when circulation decreases, the feet may feel cold, look paler, feel weak, or become sore more easily while walking. Pay attention carefully. Do your feet often feel colder than your hands, or colder at night while resting? Of course, this does not always mean diabetes, but if it happens together with other symptoms such as tingling, numbness, pain while walking, or wounds that heal slowly, then it should be taken more seriously, because poor circulation not only makes the feet uncomfortable, but also makes the tissue easier to damage and slower to recover when injured. That is why feet that constantly feel cold should not be ignored. Healthy feet usually have an even skin tone, not too pale, not too red, and without obvious discoloration. But in some people, the skin color on the feet may slowly begin to change, for example, becoming darker, reddish, purplish, or unusually pale. And often, these changes happen little by little, so many people do not notice them, even though changes in foot color can be a sign of circulation problems or issues affecting the skin and nerves of the feet. Take a careful look at your toes, soles, heels, and between the toes. Do any areas look different, redder, darker, or bruised without a clear reason? In some people, the skin may also appear shiny or thinner than usual. And something important to notice is this: sometimes these color changes appear together with coldness, tingling, or small wounds that heal slowly. The body often gives small warning signs before bigger problems appear, and the feet are one of the body parts that often show those signs early. That is why you should not be lazy about checking your feet every day. Sometimes simply looking at your feet for a few minutes can help you notice problems earlier before they become more serious.
Do your heels often look cracked, feel rough, or even hurt while walking? Some people also notice the soles of their feet become extremely dry, peel easily, and always seem to lack moisture, even after using lotion or foot oils. This condition is often considered harmless because many people think dry skin is simply caused by aging or walking too much. But in some people with diabetes, very dry skin on the feet can be a sign that the nerves in the feet are starting to become damaged. Healthy nerves help regulate the skin's natural moisture, but when nerves are affected, the skin may lose moisture more quickly. As a result, the heels become rough, easily crack, and become more likely to develop small wounds. And something important to remember is this: small cracks in the heels can become an entry point for germs and bacteria, especially if the feet are not cleaned properly or stay too moist inside shoes. Take a careful look at your heels and between your toes. Are there deep cracks, peeling skin, or constant itching? If these conditions appear together with numbness, tingling, or wounds that heal slowly, they should not be ignored, because healthy feet are very important for staying active and walking comfortably every day. Have your feet looked more swollen than usual? For example, your sandals feel tighter, or sock marks remain on the skin. Sometimes the swelling looks mild and is only noticed when walking feels uncomfortable. Some people also feel their feet become heavier, especially in the afternoon or evening. Swelling in the feet can happen for many reasons, but in people with diabetes, it can also be related to circulation problems, inflammation, or even infections that begin without being noticed. Something important to watch for is this: if the swelling comes with redness, warmth, pain, or small wounds on the skin, then it should never be ignored. Because in some people, diabetes can make it harder for the body to fight infections and slow down the healing process. Think carefully. Does the swelling happen all the time or only after a lot of activity? Does it happen in one foot or both feet at the same time? The body often gives clues through small changes like these, and unfortunately, many people only seek medical help after the condition becomes more severe and harder to treat, even though noticing warning signs early can help prevent more serious foot problems later.
Do your calves or feet often hurt while walking? Or after walking only a short distance, do your legs cramp and tire quickly? Many people think this only happens because of aging, lack of exercise, or because the body is not as strong as before. But in some people, these symptoms can also be related to poor blood circulation. In diabetes, high blood sugar over a long period of time can damage blood vessels. As a result, the blood vessels may narrow and blood flow to the feet decreases. When walking, the leg muscles need more oxygen and blood flow, but because the circulation is not enough, pain, cramps, soreness, or tired legs may appear quickly. And interestingly, these symptoms often improve while sitting or resting, but return again when walking resumes. Pay close attention. Do you often need to stop while walking because your calves feel tight or uncomfortable? Or do your feet feel heavy even during light activity? Do not immediately assume this is normal, because your body may be giving you a warning sign that there is a blood circulation problem or another health condition that needs attention. Foot odor can happen to anyone, especially after wearing shoes too long, sweating, or not keeping the feet clean. But there is one condition that should be taken more seriously. That is when the odor becomes very strong, unusual, and especially when it comes from a wound on the foot, because an abnormal smell can be a sign of infection. In some people with diabetes, small wounds that originally looked harmless. Do your calves or feet often hurt while walking? Or after walking only a short distance, do your legs cramp and tire quickly? Many people think this only happens because of aging, lack of exercise, or because the body is not as strong as before. But in some people, these symptoms can also be related to poor blood circulation. In diabetes, high blood sugar over a long period of time can damage blood vessels. As a result, the blood vessels may narrow and blood flow to the feet decreases. When walking, the leg muscles need more oxygen and blood flow, but because the circulation is not enough, pain, cramps, soreness, or tired legs may appear quickly. And interestingly, these symptoms often improve while sitting or resting, but return again when walking resumes. Pay close attention. Do you often need to stop while walking because your calves feel tight or uncomfortable? Or do your feet feel heavy even during light activity? Do not immediately assume this is normal, because your body may be giving you a warning sign that there is a blood circulation problem or another health condition that needs attention. Foot odor can happen to anyone, especially after wearing shoes too long, sweating, or not keeping the feet clean. But there is one condition that should be taken more seriously. That is when the odor becomes very strong, unusual, and especially when it comes from a wound on the foot, because an abnormal smell can be a sign of infection. In some people with diabetes, small wounds that originally looked harmless can develop into more serious problems, especially if blood flow to the feet is poor and the nerves are already affected. As a result, the body becomes less able to fight infection and wounds take longer to heal. Pay close attention. Have you ever had a small wound on your foot that released fluid, stayed wet constantly, or produced an unusual smell? Sometimes the wound may also come with redness, swelling, or warmth around the area. If this happens, do not wait until the wound becomes larger, because the longer it is ignored, the deeper the infection may spread into the foot tissue. And what many people do not realize is this: some people continue walking normally even though the wound on their foot gets worse every day. That is why it is important to check your feet regularly, keep them clean, and seek medical attention immediately if a wound has an unusual smell, because healthy feet are very important for maintaining activity, balance, and independence every day.
This is a very important part. Many people do not realize that small foot problems can develop into much more serious conditions. At first, it may only be a small blister, cracked skin, or a mild wound that looks harmless, but with diabetes, the body may not always heal wounds as quickly as usual. Poor blood circulation and nerve damage can make wounds much harder to heal. And what happens most often is this: many people do not realize their foot wounds were getting worse because the pain begins to decrease or disappears completely. As a result, small wounds can turn into infections. The skin may become redder, swollen, release fluid, or produce an unusual odor. If the infection continues to spread, the risks can become very serious and may affect the surrounding tissue of the foot. That is why doctors often recommend checking the feet every day, especially the soles and between the toes, even if it is only to make sure there are no blisters, calluses, redness, or other small changes. And simple habits such as keeping the feet clean and dry, wearing comfortable footwear, avoiding walking barefoot, and keeping blood sugar stable can help protect foot health and safety. After hearing these 9 warning signs, take a moment to think again. Have you experienced one or more of these signs lately? Maybe your feet often tingle, maybe the soles feel thicker than usual, or maybe you have had a small wound that healed very slowly but seemed unimportant. Do not panic immediately, because this video is not meant to frighten you. The purpose of this discussion is to help us become more aware and more attentive to our own bodies. Very often, the body actually gives warning signs early, but because the symptoms appear slowly, many people choose to ignore them. Even though the earlier a problem is discovered, the greater the chance of preventing it from becoming more serious. And one important thing to remember is this: taking care of foot health is not only about avoiding pain, it is also about maintaining comfort while walking, staying independent during daily activities, and preserving quality of life as we grow older. Because healthy feet help the body stay active, continue worship comfortably, continue traveling, and continue enjoying time with loved ones. So starting today, try paying closer attention to your feet. Check for changes in skin color. Check for small wounds. Notice if your feet feel colder or if any area begins losing sensation. Take good care of your feet. Keep them clean, wear comfortable footwear, and do not hesitate to seek medical care if something feels unusual. Thank you for watching until the end. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with family members or loved ones so more people can understand how important it is to take care of foot health early in life.